new grad, what is the salary that you should be expecting, and what is the salary that like they're lowballing you? Because no, we're not accepting that, baby. We got masters, so there's no. Welcome back to theOTchronicles. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me. If you're not new here, welcome back, OT fam. Make sure you do those big 3 things for me. You hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and then leave me a comment down below. All right, so if you haven't already noticed from the title, today we're going to be talking about 7 things I wish I knew before I became a new grad or clinician per se. So these are like things that honestly would have been helpful for me to know during OT school, so then when I came out, I could have been rocking and rolling way smoother. But you know, that's why you got me. I'm your big sis here, and I'm just gonna give you this information. So yeah, let's hop right on in. All right, so number 1, the first thing that I honestly wish I knew before becoming like a new grad or a new clinician is literally how high the expectations are as a new clinician. Like, I just feel like nobody talks about that, and that is just so crazy to me. They talk about the productivity percentages and stuff like that, but like everywhere is different, but also everywhere is the same, if that makes sense. Like, I, for instance, in my first job, I worked at an outpatient clinic. You know, in outpatient settings, the expectation for like your caseload and stuff, you're expected to see like 13 to 15 patients per day. For me, that was a lot. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. And you know, I did that as a level 2 student, but I also had my supervisor, and I was nowhere seeing like literally 13 patients a day. Maybe that's because I was a level 2 student, so therefore I was seeing like maybe 8, but when I tell you 13, honey, it's a lot. Like, it honestly was a lot. And I just want to let y'all know that, like, specifically in like outpatient settings, yeah, that expectation is pretty high. When it comes to like school settings and things like that, it's a little bit better per se, but it also depends on your school district. I know hospitals right now, because of COVID, the caseloads are extremely high as well. So just be ready for that. Like, honestly, it's super important that you do know that when you're in grad school, that like when you come out, you are going to be seeing a lot of patients. So therefore, you need to be ready mentally to handle all of that. All right, number two, let me look at my post-it note. So it basically is how important benefits are. So when it comes to like the 401k match, when it comes to PTO, them paying for your licensure, them giving you continuing education credits, like, girl, all those things are so important, and no one told me that. And so I will say, like, if you're a new grad looking at this, or you're someone in OT school, like, when you come out, you need to make sure that you have a 401k match. You need to make sure that you have PTO, and what is your PTO? Like, and if you do have 401k, what is that match? Like, talk to your parents. You got to figure out, like, what are the norms for that? Like, you don't want to be lowballed in those areas, because those areas are super important. Like, talk about relocation assistance. Like, see if they can pay for you moving. Talk about a sign-on bonus. Make sure, I'm gonna tell you this with the sign-on bonuses, make sure that in that contract, is there like a clause where it says if you don't work for that company for a year, you have to pay that sign-on bonus back? Like, you want to pay attention to reading your contracts fully. When it comes into like relocation assistance, do you have to pay that back? Like, things like that. And I will say, I learned this from my mentor. Another important thing when it comes to like the benefits package is if there is a non-compete clause in it. So basically what that means is, like, if I were to leave that company or whatever company, let's say I work at Joe's shop and I want to move across the street or maybe 10 minutes away from the shop and start treating people at Paul's shop, then I could not do that because there is a non-compete clause in my contract that I signed there. So that means that I cannot treat anyone in a certain area, mileage, whatever it says in the contract, because then that could be considered as, in my terms, like poaching patients. So you really want to pay attention to that. Don't get caught in that, because honestly, like, it's important that you don't breach it, because if you breach it, I'm just gonna say bad things happen. So you just want to make sure, like, pay attention to your contracts, y'all. Like, pay so close, super close attention to your contracts, because it's important, you know? Don't sign stuff without paying attention. Okay, I think we got it. All right, number 3, another thing I wish I knew was just how hard the work-life balance is. Like, from me to you, I really want you to pay attention to your work-life balance. That is something that I'm working on now. You know, I take those moments out of the day and give myself self-care, self-love, mental health breaks. Like, I honestly have realized that I'm a clinician, that I pour so much into my patients that I barely have enough left to pour into myself. And that's something that I really am working on in the new year, and that's like one of my biggest goals. So I will say, like, as far as the work-life balance, I am working on it, okay? It's hard for me, but you know, I'm here and I'm transparent about my journey, and I hope that by me bringing this up to you, that we can kind of work on this together. So leave me comments down below on things that you feel like I should do, so that we can kind of have this conversation of how to improve the work-life balance. I think it's super important, and I think it's something that everybody needs to talk about, and it's a good conversation that needs to be had. And yeah, I think I'm honestly gonna make like a whole video on that, because that topic right there is just so important, and I just really love talking about it. So yeah, stay tuned for that video. Okay. All right, number 4. Number 4 is going to be how to negotiate my salary better. I feel like money is so like taboo to talk about, and I absolutely despise that. I just feel like, why can't we talk about the money? Like, we're getting paid for what we're doing, so like, why can't we talk about the money? And why is there so much taboo about discussing that on the internet? Like, I don't understand that. Now, I will not be sharing like anything as of right now of what I make, because that is what I make. However, if that is something that you're interested in, like maybe further down the line, we can actually talk about like my numbers of like what I make, and like the different salaries. I definitely want to make a video on like, as a new grad, what is the salary that you should be expecting, and what is the salary that like they're lowballing you, because no, we're not accepting that, baby. We got masters. So there's no, if you're on Instagram, I'll put like my Instagrams here. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, shameless plug. But like, check out like these influencers that are in the healthcare field too, because they talk about money, and I think it's so important to talk about money. So yeah, I wish I knew how to negotiate my salary better, because you know, I make a good amount now, but I did not negotiate that, and I felt like I could have gotten more out of it if I did. And it's not even like the salary portion, like benefit wise, I even could have negotiated my benefits a little bit better. So I feel like, you know, that is definitely something and a skill that is important, and I think you should all know about it. Okay. All right, number 5, y'all. So number 5, I just feel like I wish I knew how uncomfortable I was going to be treating like my first couple of patients. I kind of like cringe thinking about the first couple of patients I had, because I thought, since I did field work, right? I just came out of level 2, so I'm just like, yeah, like it's smooth sailing. I could just flow right in and I'll be okay. No, absolutely not. Like, the first patient I saw, I literally was shaking in my boots. And you know, that's okay. Now I'm great. Now I meet new families. It's super easy for me. If I'm like just myself, I realized I'm okay. I feel like it's hard when you are a clinician and you're trying to put on a front like you know everything, because in whole honesty, you don't. So why would you even try to do that? I don't like when people try to do that. So me, I'm very honest, and I think a lot of my families tend to love that quality about me, because if I don't know something, I will say I don't know. And I will say I will do some more research and I will figure it out. I will ask my manager. I will ask my colleagues around me, because that's why they're there. We need to collaborate. So I think it's just super important to realize that like, when you become a new clinician, like, you're going to be uncomfortable, and it's okay. It's completely normal. Everyone has been uncomfortable, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I just want y'all to understand there is nothing wrong with that. So yeah, that's another thing that I wish I knew. All right, number 6, baby. I wish I knew just how frustrating the healthcare system is. okay? When it comes to insurance, when it comes to reimbursement, when it comes to your documentation, it is so important. Let me say it again. It is so important that you are like saying everything you need to say, because these insurance companies will literally like deny you and you have to do the process again. Like, I just got my first denial. It wasn't a full denial, but it was like a half denial. They did not want to give me 26 visits. And I was like, huh? Why not? Like, I don't understand. And so that was hard. That was a big pill for me to swallow, because I'm just like, well, was it my documentation? Was it what I said, how I said it? I felt like I said the kid was getting better. Like, I don't understand what's happening. And like, when I talked to my manager about it, like, she was just like, you just need to be like a little bit more descriptive. But then also there were some other things that happened on the back end too that could have possibly added it with our administration portion of it. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's frustrating, and I just want you to know, like, when you get into your field, whatever you are in the healthcare field, insurance companies will frustrate you so much, but don't give up. Go ahead, go through the appeal process, try it again, fight for your patients. Like, that's one thing I will say. I am fighting for this patient, and I will continue to fight for my patients. So yeah, that's another thing. All right, and the last thing that I wish I knew was just how comfortable I would be in my profession, and just how much growth I would see in myself as an OT. You know, I've only been treating for 5 months now, and the OT that I was when I first started to the OT that's sitting in front of you right now, I am just in awe. I have been through so much, and that's why I kind of took a break from YouTube too, because it was just a lot. But I will say, like, everything that I went through, I would do it again because it got me to where I am right now. I am just very, very grateful, very thankful for the OT and the person that I am becoming by just going through all these different things in life. And I'm just so happy to be sharing my journey with all of you as well. So yeah, on that note, that is the end of the video. I hope that you at least got like one tip or something from this video to kind of help you kind of understand how life is going to be when you become a new clinician. Make sure you leave me a comment down below if you love this video. If you have any video recommendations, I would love to chat with you. Send me a DM. I'll put my Instagram up here as well again. So yeah, all right, bye y'all. I will see you all in my next video.